Get a free supply of testosterone support. Visit RexMD.com.
Welcome back. Texas State University being sued for allegedly violating students' First Amendment rights due to, quote, overbroad student conduct policies. The lawsuit, filed by Speech First, claims that TSU and its officials have, quote, deter, suppress, and punish constitutionally protected speech about political and social issues of the day. Joining me right now is Speech First Executive Director Cherise Trump. Cherise, great to see you. Let's point out that there's no relation to the Trump family. Cherise, talk to us about this case. Students from TSU came forward about these policies.
Yeah, so we're suing Texas State University on behalf of our student members for two of their policies. One is the discriminatory harassment policy, and the other one is their computer use policy. Now, their harassment policy actually is so broad, the way it targets any kind of constitutionally protected speech. It doesn't say that it has to be directed towards an individual. In fact, it specifies that it doesn't have to be directed towards one individual, and that it could be just anything that offends like a group of individuals. And it says offensive or intimidating environment when it's describing what defines harassment. So what does that mean to students? They don't really know. Basically, who defines what's offensive, right? So that's a very subjective and very overbroad way of defining what harassment is. It means that if someone, for example, wanted to tweet a comment or bring up some issue in class with regards to a political issue of the day, then they could actually get accused of harassment if they offended someone enough to report them. So their computer use policy. Yeah.
Yep. What is the next step in this case?
Yeah. So basically, the next step is to get a response from the university to, put them in a position where they actually have to defend these policies, because it's clear that they weren't really considering the First Amendment when they were writing them, because, again, they do target constitutionally protected speech. So the next step is to get a response from the university. We sued in the Western District of Texas, so we're waiting to hear a response from them and see what their defense is.
Lou Bassanese, this area, the university area, it's exactly where you want to see diversity of speech. It's exactly where you want to see free speech principles protected.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's never going to happen. If you look at the data, I think it's like 96% or 92% of tenured professors are espousing and contributing Democratic donors and liberals. So you can't go into the lion's den and expect it to be any different. But, Cherise, I wanted to ask you, because forgive my ignorance here, I appreciate the efforts of what you're doing here to preserve free speech. What have you done in the past? Can you just give us an understanding of other situations where you've prevailed to give us that are just look at the situation and are appalled by it some confidence that there's actually something to be hopeful about, changing swinging the pendulum back to a free and open discussion?
Absolutely. So we just sued last year University of Houston on a similar harassment policy, and we actually won at the district and forced them to actually change the policy to make it more constitutionally sound. We also won against the University of Central Florida last year in the 11th Circuit and had them remove their bias reporting system, which was an anonymous reporting system that they had students informing on each other for offensive speech or any speech that they found to be biased. And then we also had them change their harassment policy to be more constitutionally sound. So we've had a lot of wins in the past. In addition to that, we've won against UT Austin, University of Michigan, and so we're looking forward to actually taking this all the way as far as we need to in order to protect the students at Texas State and the rest of the region as well.
I love it, especially as a Florida Gator, that you're cracking down on UCF. But in all seriousness, this is an important task that you're endeavoring on, desperately needed. I have two teenage students that are getting ready to go away to college. So,
and that's why I asked you about this, because your kids. Yeah.
And you know what's amazing? That we're actually having this conversation about institutions in Texas and Florida. I mean, if free speech can't be had in those two of all states, where are we going? And how did we get to the point where expressing a view has actually become something that is a negative, that you need to shut it down? No, this country is about expressing a view.
That's right.
In some higher ed places, if you have a view that leans left, your free speech is being protected by faculty, administration, other student groups. But if you're on the conservative side, you're getting attacked. I mean, you just saw it happen with Riley Gaines. It's happened with other conservative speakers. We have a big nationwide problem here where it's two different rules based on which way the fence you are.
And here, too, the CCP has infiltrated the university level. But Cornell University, Cherise, announced plans to feature what they're calling free expression and academic freedom as the theme for their 2023 and 2024 academic year. They say that they're going to deal with the blow of censorship on campus. The campus recently rejected a student group's proposal proposal to add, quote, trigger warnings to sensitive class discussions. Cornell President Martha Pollack said, learning from difference, learning to engage with difference, and learning to communicate across difference are key parts of a Cornell education. Amen to that. Free expression and academic freedom are the bedrock not just of the university, but of democracy, she says. Cherise, your reaction.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely right. You know, I see a lot of these pledges from universities. I see them signing the Chicago Principles of Free Expression. But what they don't do is they don't audit their policies to actually see what they're enforcing against the students. So yeah. I applaud the pledges and I applaud the, you know, the statements for free expression and free speech. But at the same time, they need to go back and look at what the policies are that they're enforcing against students and see if they're violating students' rights.
All right, we'll leave it there. Cherise, good to talk with you. Thanks very much. Cherise Trump joining us. The next hour of Mornings with Maria begins right now.